Kanye West's Oval Office meeting with President Trump sparking a firestorm, just a little one.
This CNN panel, you've heard about it, before the sit-down even happened, made some pretty appalling comments about the rapper. Listen.
Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read. And we have this now, and now Donald Trump is going to use it and pervert it.
He's all of a sudden now the model spokesperson. He's the token Negro of the Trump administration. This is ridiculous, and no one should be taking Kanye West seriously. He's clearly has issues.
Wow. CNN delivers again. Our next guest thinks they should be taken off the air. Heisman Trophy winner and College Football Hall of Fame running back Hershel Walker joins us now. Hershel, we were talking in the green room. You said, you know, you saw this panel in your home or where you were watching, and you had a human reaction to it.
Well, you know, I was really appalled. I was appalled because I thought it was insulting. I thought it was bullying, and I was bullied as a little kid. And, you know, it's strange because I said, if you look at the segment, I said, what if they had Anderson Cooper doing that segment, laughing as Don Lemon did? It would have been a total reaction. But Don Lemon is laughing, and I said, that is nothing to laugh at. That is something that they said. I thought it was degrading. And, you know, whether Kanye has something to say or not, he has his right to speak when they're always talking about freedom of speech.
And what do you think the media has gotten wrong? Because the reaction to, you know, putting aside that segment just for a second, but then what happened in the Oval Office has been universal. This was disgraceful. Kanye's being used. What is the media getting wrong, in your opinion?
You know, first of all, I think what the media have gotten wrong altogether, they forgot to respect the White House. Yeah, and I think that's the main thing that first started out. They got to respect the White House. I think people have not taken it already to say Donald Trump is the president of the United States. You got to respect that. And then I think the thing they gotten wrong next is to use words like that and think that that's okay. Well, it's not okay, because I said, you look at the people that was on that segment, and I said, that is not right to do. It's not right, and I think something need to be done.
They haven't been disciplined or anything.
But at the same time, they forgot about to talk about it. You have not seen CNN talk about it anymore. They've totally dropped it, went on to something that he said in the White House. And my next question I say is, at least he's doing something. My mom always said, if you got nothing good to say absolutely nothing. And I think that's what has happened. I've not seen any of them in the White House when the president has asked many people, if you got something to say, come see me. And I haven't seen them there.
Do you think it's because he's supporting a conservative and he's supporting, of all conservatives, Donald Trump? I mean, in and of itself is the sticking point here. I mean, you look at the reception, right, of Taylor Swift, and they were thrilled that Taylor took a stand, but Kanye West isn't allowed to?
Well, and I think that's the problem. If you have anything to say good about this president, you're going to be demonized. And I think that's what's wrong. And, you know, I supported the president when he first came out. You know, I know the man. I've known him for years, and I stand behind him. And I said, I don't care what anyone says. I know the type of guy he is. I know he's not a racist. I know he's not this. But one of the things I said people have gotten wrong, I've never heard Donald Trump say, I'm trying to do something great for China. I'm trying to do something great here. He's done so many great things for this country, and without anyone trying to help him. You have everyone on the left, everyone is trying to stop what he's trying to do. And look at the things he's done. And not just that, if we just erase everything, to get people released, to come home. He's got so many people released to come home. I think it's a win-win for this administration.
By the way, I grew up idolizing you. I hate to be a fanboy right now, but University of Georgia, Heisman Trophy, and New Jersey Generals, right? That's how you got to know Donald Trump. But you said something a moment ago that struck me that's unrelated. You were bullied as a kid.
Yes. I
saw you running people over on the football field. Do you ever go back to those guys who bullied you?
No, I don't. And you know, I probably would thank him. I probably would thank him because, you know, and then another thing you may not know, and, you know, they talked about Kanye's mental health. A lot of people don't know I spent time in a mental health hospital. When I got out of football, I never drank, never taken a drug, but I had an anger problem. And I checked myself in a behavioral health hospital. And today, you look at the things I'm doing today, it's so much better, more than I've ever done in my whole life. So I take offense to that as well, but I was bullied as a little kid.
Very cool. Hershel Walker, we appreciate you coming in and giving your thoughts so clearly.
And I love Ed Henry, but if you want to host for him sometime, you can do that.
I thought you were going to say I love Ed Henry, but if you want to beat him up or something.
I'm still trying to get over the shoes. I was like, maybe they'll match my coat.
All right, we got some shoes we're going to show later. They're blue.
Thank you very much.
More Fox and Friends on the other side, man.
Now imagine this flying anywhere else. Last night, Don Lemon thought it was hilarious when guests on his show mocked Kanye West's intelligence ahead of the rapper's meeting with President Trump tomorrow. and it was done in the most offensive way possible. Watch.
Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read. And we have this now, and now Donald Trump is going to use it and pervert it, and he's going to have somebody who can stand with him and take pictures.
And he's an attention whore like the president. He's all of a sudden now the model spokesperson. He's the token Negro of the Trump administration. This is ridiculous. No one should be taking Kanye West seriously. He's clearly has issues. He's already been hospitalized.
Joining me with reaction is Candace Owens, Communications Director for Turning Point USA. Candace, it really turns out that they cannot accept anyone who disagrees with them, who has any affinity for or any agreement with President Trump. Who's the intolerant one now, Candace?
They are absolutely intolerant, but I'll say this, most especially, to add to your statement, most especially black people. The Democrats rely on our vote. If they secured 85% of our vote, they would lose. So they need to achieve more than 85% of the black vote to sustain their party. So they have gone through great lengths to smear Kanye West. And what they said last night was not only racist, it was absolutely despicable. And I cannot believe that it would be allowed on any network, least of all having a host that's laughing as if it's funny.
Yeah, the entire panel kind of just went on with that. Imagine if a conservative host had a guest on who said something like that and laughed. There would be calls for boycotts. I mean, I got in trouble with poor old LeBron James. I was just teasing him. It's like, oh, you can't say. But it's like you can't joke, but they can say the most horrific things possible, and you're shut down. What does this mean, though, for the Democrat Party? I think they're worried, are they not, Candace? I mean, you've broken through in your own way in politics. You just kind of came on the scene with Turning Point USA. There are other people who are coming forward saying, the demonization of Donald Trump and the Republicans, God, the economy is doing really well. I mean, the market's down today, but, this kind of stuff happens. But the stuff's going pretty well, and these people seem really angry all the time. It kind of doesn't compute at some point.
Well, the anger is masking their insecurity. They are terrified. They were not predicting this. They had no idea that there was any chance that conservatives might come after the cultural war. They won the cultural war a long time ago. So for Kanye West to stand up and to say that I support Donald Trump, that terrifies them. So they're going to say whatever they can to smear him, to make sure that no other black people wake up and understand that it has been the left that has harmed our community. It has been Democrat policies that have rendered our communities in the shape that they are in today when we talk about Chicago and Philadelphia and all the major cities that they have run down. Black people are having a mass awakening, and Kanye West is a big part of the reason why.
Now, you've met with Kanye West. I guess you're going to meet him tomorrow before his lunch with President Trump. You guys struck up something about friendship. What is it with him and Trump? Is it just, they're pals? Is there a path toward, criminal justice reform, prison reform, other work they might do to get kids out of gangs? Like, what's the collaboration there?
Look, I don't want to speak for him, but I will tell you my assessment of it after having several conversations with him. First and foremost, Kanye is very educated about the Democrat Party and the history of the Democrat Party. Beyond that, Kanye West really does believe in uniting both sides and going forward. We know the left, they want to make sure that everybody is separate. They want to keep the themes of racism alive. They like fear-mongering. Kanye West is not about any of those things. He really wants to see a world that is better than the world that we were in yesterday, and he sees a unique opportunity in Donald Trump because he sees that our president is courageous. He's willing to say the things that need to be said, and we haven't had that, certainly not for the last 8 years when Barack Obama was in office.
I think they're terrified of Kanye West, so it's like he's crazy, he belongs in an insane asylum. They don't want to actually argue about the thing, which is the failures of the Democrat Party. Candace. All right, Candace, give us an update after your meeting tomorrow with Kanye.
Editorial page deputy editor Dan Henninger. Would this story be different if Kanye West was visiting Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton in the White House?
That's the beginning and the end of it. There's no question, Liz. This is happening to Kanye West because he visited Donald Trump and he supports Donald Trump. No, it's no different than if you are an appeals court judge being nominated to the Supreme Court by Donald Trump. Therefore, you have to be denounced, you have to be ostracized, and you have to be driven out of politics.
And dehumanized.
and dehumanized. And no language is off the chart. I mean, they can say whatever they want, which they're doing with Kanye West. I have to say, I wouldn't want to get into a war of words with Kanye West, which is what they seem to be doing. But that's the reality. He said something nice about Donald Trump. He has to be driven out of the public.
But he's not allowed to have his opinions, right?
His opinions are not allowed to have any resonance. They're not talking. Kanye West was out there talking about welfare. He was talking about the amount of violence in the inner city. He was talking about growing up, jobs. Have any of them discussed any of that? No. It's simply the fact that he appeared in the same room with Donald Trump.
Let's listen to conservative commentator Molly Hemingway weighing in. Watch.
I think there is something in our culture where there's a lot of criticism of being a conservative, a ton of criticism for being a Trump supporter. But if you can withstand that criticism, there is something empowering about it. I think the reason why you're seeing so much negative reaction, you have a very prominent black celebrity aligning himself with the president, and there is something very threatening about that, not just in terms of celebrity, but also in race issues. And you're seeing a lot of polls where you have like tons of Hispanics supporting Ted Cruz. Donald Trump himself got more black votes than Mitt Romney. There's something that people feel very nervous about when people do not play the parts they're supposed to.
Okay, we've had media attacks on Kanye West. We've had violent extremism, right? The violence coming out of the mob mentality. We've had so much more going on. How does this play with mainstream America?
I don't think it plays very well, to tell you the truth. I mean, I was struck by the one person we haven't talked about who's got no attention, who was sitting in that scene with Kanye West and Donald Trump, was Jim Brown. Jim Brown, who I watched growing up in Cleveland, the greatest probably NFL running back in the history of the game, sat there with dignity and silence, but he was there because by and large he shares a lot of Kanye West concerns, all right? And Brown has tried to elevate many of those concerns. Kanye West did it, and yet most of the liberal media simply will not talk about any of those subjects. And as Molly was suggesting, that is the nature of the politics we're in today. They are not going to debate conservatives about substance anymore. They're going to try to take them down in terms of personality through mockery and ridicule. I don't think that plays with the general population
at all
out there in the electorate.
You know, they try to say that Kanye West is illiterate, too, and has mental faculties were off. I mean, are they doctors? Can they diagnose him? By the way, Kanye West's father was a major photojournalist at the Atlanta Constitution-Journal, and his mother was a teacher.
Yeah, I mean, Kanye West is a rapper. He has a gift for words. He can, he has a stream of consciousness. That is the way he talks. And the spectacle of them, like CNN saying it was a minstrel show or that he's mentally ill, is, to me, something is beyond the pale. But obviously, even people on cable show programs like that feel they can say anything about conservatives and get away with it.
It's really mean-spirited, and it's dehumanizing to Kanye West. Great to see you, Dan. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.